So we're live now, and in case people are not familiar with accents, I'm German, as Rosalie stated. So,
and I'm Filipino, so there are two accents there.
yes, it's very international today.
Yes.
Well, everyone, welcome to the first episode of Wolfer's Wins, and thank you to Rosalie for being the first guest and
Thank you.
introducing us as an expert to walking, which I'm very excited about because I know we all should walk more. And I'm normally better if I have good goodies, which get me excited about doing something. And so I'm very excited to talk to you today about your shoe discovery.
Yes.
And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your shoe.
Okay, so I'm 53, so I live in New York City, so I walk a lot. But then a friend told me one day that she walked in Portugal to Spain for 2 weeks nonstop. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's crazy. And she told me about the Camino de Santiago. And I said, I don't want to do the 2-week thing. I want to do the 40-day thing. So without any training at all, I dove in, and luckily I had the right shoes, which I will show.
Yeah.
I think you have it there too.
Oh, I have it there too. I put let me switch to the shoe.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Because I put this is like where, yeah.
Exactly the same. So yeah. I bought the men's shoes though, because in the Camino, when you walk, that's 500 miles, which is about 800 kilometers for those who are not in the US. And the problem would usually be the blisters. And they would stop a lot of the walkers because of the blisters. So I made sure I had the men's shoes because they are much wider. So your feet don't actually touch the inside of the shoes.
Yeah. So did you double sock? Or did you just wear one sock?
I had a pair of socks, but they're like wool, but there would still be friction. Mm-hmm. But if there's a protection, like space between the sock and the inside of the shoe, you're pretty much protected. So I have wide feet, by the way, but still men's shoes are really, really wide. So I was able to walk 500 miles without getting a single blister because of this. So also,
it's convincing.
I got this, it's called lock laces. Mm-hmm. So instead of always tying your shoelaces, it's just like that. So you just, just put in your shoe, your feet, and then that's it. So it was because it's a constant in and out of your feet because you have to rest about after 2 hours. I would walk about 10 hours a day usually. Yeah, because I was slow.
No, but it's a very long. I mean, I would say this is an ultimate test for any shoe because
yes,
you have to put them back on the next day. So
yes, and also the rain, the terrain, the moisture, the sun. So it was day in and day out for 40 days. I had an extra shoe, something that's shorter here, just in case, but I never needed to use it. It was also a Merrell. But this one, if you're going to walk long distance, you need to have protection on your ankle.
Yeah, to give you a strong hold because the terrain is not always even.
Exactly, so, yes. Yeah. So you see, and there's a lot of, it is very, very good. So the terrain when walking the Camino is very different. Sometimes it's pure concrete that's slanted like this. So you always walk like this.
Yeah.
Or just
I put the sole up because I think the sole is really important because you need to have a good grip on the ground. Isn't that
and sometimes it's very, very rocky, and it's and it's the mountains. The first day would be the mountains, the Pyrenees, and it's very steep. And this was so good because it protected my ankles on the first day. And like I said, I never trained for this. I just said, okay, I'm going. I didn't know anything.
that's sometimes the best way, because sometimes I feel like I've done things if I would have known beforehand, I would never have done it.
You
But then
wouldn't
I'm
have.
so glad I did, you know?
Yes, exactly. I didn't even know I needed walking sticks.
Oh, yeah.
So I arrived in France on that day, the day before, and they said, you need sticks. And I said, shit, I need, and it was like $50. I'm like, I need sticks. And I walked alone. So there would be nobody to help me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the shoes are very important. And what else can I say? Oh, this is waterproof.
Yeah. So was it really waterproof? Because I have shoes, they say waterproof, but they're only like
water resistant. Yes. Okay. This is really water resistant, but really heavily water resistant, because I walked in the rain, in the forest with mud, and it was okay. So there are parts of Spain, especially towards the end, which is Galicia, and it's very lush and it's very green because it's always raining. So I also didn't know that.
The things we learn by doing stuff, you know?
So I was so lucky I had this pair of shoes, because I mean.
So is it heavy or is it lighter?
It's light to be.
I love that. Yay.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's very light.
When I walk, I mean, I'm 51. So my feet hurt because I spent 20 years in high heels, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So now my feet hurt permanently, like almost all women. So I really need my shoes to be like flexible so that I don't get stuck. Oh, cool. Wow.
Okay, so now
that is very convincing.
So I did the Camino in May and June of 2019, just before the pandemic. I was supposed to do it again. And for 40 days I had this, but last Christmas I got a new pair.
You know what? That is the best recommendation if you buy exactly the same thing again, because sometimes I get really panicked and I have something I love, and then I go and buy the same thing because I'm afraid they're going to change models.
Yes, exactly. And this I use actually every day when it's
So you walk in Manhattan? How far do you walk every day?
Average 8 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know Manhattan very well.
Yeah, but that should all motivate us, because we know walking is literally like the answer to good basic health. So that's why I was so interested, because I feel like we're often stopped by not having the right equipment because our feet hurt, or we don't, you know, like now I'm in Brooklyn too, and there's a lot of snow and ice out there. And I feel like if I wouldn't put the proper shoes on, I'm probably going to slip on someone's sidewalk who hasn't cleared it yet. So
yes, I've actually seen a lot of people here, and you see there's still snow. Yeah. I saw a lot of people walking in the shoes in the snow. I've never tried it because it's just water resistant.
And in Spain, there was no snow.
No. And you know what? The good thing about these shoes is that even when it was really, really hot, it was fine. It was cool. It was cool when it needed to be cool, and it was warm when it needed to be warm.
I mean, I'm really enticed by the no blisters, because I get blisters. Like literally, I can put on flip-flops and I get blisters. And that's something which I'm always really concerned about, especially if I have to walk.
Yeah. You know what they taught us in the Camino? Because when you're in the Camino, you talk to other walkers. You know, you pass by them in 15 minutes and you find them interesting. You walk with them for a couple of hours. There are actually a couple of friends who are still friends, a few actually. And there are those who are like 15 minutes, I'm so tired. You can go ahead, you know. But anyway, you learn stuff. And one of the things that I learned is that you always apply Vaseline on your feet just before you put on your socks. And it was every day. And during the day, I would do that to protect my feet. And to this day, I do that. Every evening, I put Vaseline around my, you know, all over my feet. And they're really nice and soft, even before I started the Camino. So
that's a good idea, you know, for every day. So I'm going to try that. That's such a good idea. So, you know what, I just want to ask you, I want to put the Camino up here so that people really understand how far you went. And you said you walked like the yellow line?
Yes. So from the start of the yellow line, that's actually France. So that's Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, it's called. And it's just on the base of the Pyrenees Mountains.
Yeah.
I did not know. On the map, the Pyrenees look, like this. Know that it was like this on the first day.
Oh,
it took me 3 days to recover, but I did. And it's hard. So you did that. So you crossed the border to Spain on the first day, and you pretty much cross the whole of northern Spain to get to Santiago.
On foot?
Yes, the whole thing on foot. So there are people who actually skip some distances like 200 miles because there's a distance of 200-300 miles which is just plain, it's just nothing. And it's very boring to some people and very therapeutic to others. Because you there's nothing to see, there's nothing to think of but
to walk.
Just walk. So for me it was more like, I'm gonna do this every fucking step of this. I'm gonna do this. It was not meditation. It was not anything. It was just.
I relate to that. I'm one of these people too, where I do it for real and not like with some shortcut. Yes. And I have to say, I find this so inspirational, and I think I might have to get this shoe and start walking around my Brooklyn neighborhood, which is not very attractive, but.
You can cross the Williamsburg Bridge.
Yeah.
Though.
So you know what? Because I have on my little New Year's resolution sheet that I'm going to walk more. I have a treadmill, so I walk stationary, but it doesn't seem to be the same. So I think you were very inspirational to me and also to other people, because I know it's a constant topic on the Wolfer that we need to walk more. And obviously having the best shoe is very essential. So I thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.
I wish you a lot of happy walking in Manhattan, and maybe we meet on the, on the Brooklyn Bridge, on the half thing.
Sometimes I actually walk down to the Brooklyn Bridge and cross.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna walk up, and then we're gonna meet over there.
Yes, we can do that, and we can have coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank you very much.
It was so nice talking.